everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. This is going to be a reading for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the upcoming week of July 26th to August 1st. So let's get started here. For Virgo, see what messages we have for the week. And if this reading resonates for you, don't forget to leave me a comment and hit that like button. Really lets me know that the readings are resonating for you guys. Okay, let's see what's going on here for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Okay, Virgo, let's have a look here. Four of Pentacles on the bottom. Okay, so it looks like my Virgo out there, you are starting to experience a change in your mood, which is good because it was pretty disappointed. You were feeling kind of disappointed, a little bit bored emotionally, sort of stifled, not really feeling a lifted mood, okay? And it appears that that was happening because you were sort of shifting out of a cycle. So we see here the Four of Cups with the World crossing it. So that really makes me think that as you were closing out a cycle, things started to get a little bit emotional for you, okay? They started to get a little bit emotional, but you kept your eye and your mind on your wish, okay? You kept your eye and your mind on your ultimate wish here. Your focus was really how to get your emotional satisfaction. Now, it's interesting that you did keep your eye on the emotional reward that you wanted out of a situation when this cycle closed, but it looks like you didn't spend enough time maybe exploring what that experience was meant to teach you, Virgo. So this is the Hermit card here, which is you as represented in the tarot. So it's almost like you're not really being yourself. You didn't take the time to understand the full aspect of this chapter that just closed out, and you're starting a new one. You're starting the next phase of something, but it's almost like you just didn't, you hid, you hid away, but you didn't do the introspective work. You just sort of took yourself out of the public eye and you disappeared for a bit to be on your own. But did you really ask yourself what the past experiences taught you? What did you learn about yourself? What can you gain in terms of wisdom from the experiences that you've gone through? And it doesn't really look like you went through that process all the way. And I think it's because the whole thing was overwhelming. You've got the Death card here as being sort of how you're feeling on the inside. You can really feel this next chapter coming in, Virgo. You can feel it, but it's important to sort of run the numbers before you move on to the next chapter. I always like to think of it as, spending a day in the lab, reviewing the data. And looking at all of that data that you brought in through the recent experiences that you've had, or else it's really hard to sort of understand it. If you think of yourself as a researcher, if you're constantly out in the field gathering data and doing experiments, and then you don't spend any time in the lab to process that data and sort of like understand what you experienced, then it's, I don't know. I'll leave it to you to finish that sentence, but it's not going to help you move forward in a path where you don't necessarily have to sort of go through the same experiences again and again, because you haven't completely taken all the wisdom, right? When I see the Hermit in reverse, it makes me think that you haven't really taken enough time to fully process the situation. And it could be because you're not sure about what this experience was actually designed to teach you. And so it's sort of difficult for you to go down that inquisitive path of asking yourself that, because it seems like what's on your mind right now is just the idea of wanting to be emotionally fulfilled. You're looking for some emotional fulfillment. And it seems like this last cycle really showed you sort of the other side of your personality. We see the devil card here as the mask you've been wearing, which is really interesting to see these two major archetypes next to each other here. So you see yourself as death, which is the Scorpio card, which is the rebirth card, which is I'm evolving, I'm transforming, that part of my life, that chapter is closing, I'm stepping into a new chapter. That's where you find yourself, right? And then it's like the mask you wear appears to be, like that you're sort of trying to satisfy just the pleasure. Like, and it's interesting, it's almost like the mask you wear is that you're just looking for satisfaction, and sort of at any cost. Like, it's almost like you could be running from reality in the eyes of those around you. That is, like, it seems like those around you are starting to wonder if maybe you're escaping instead of dealing. Then that makes me think of this Hermit card in reverse, which suggests that you've been hiding. And so, if you're hiding and the people in your life see you as represented by the Devil card, that really suggests that you're trying to escape your reality. Okay, Virgo, you're not using this solitude for its purpose. You're using it to escape. Okay, escaping. It's almost like you don't want to feel it unless it feels like this, right? And this is what's on your mind. So maybe you've had this and now everything is shifting and it's over. Like maybe you've just gone through a cycle. This is a 9 of Cups. So you've just gone through a cycle that was very emotionally fulfilling and it's ending. And so you're sort of like, well, I don't really want it to end. But here it is. You're not resisting it. You're letting it happen. But it's interesting. It's almost like you're hiding out in the transformation process. And other people are sort of like, is Virgo okay? This is a Capricorn energy. Wondering whether or not you are being pulled in directions to just sort of satisfy the ego. And when I say that, I just mean like, the ego just wants pleasure. So you could just be seeking a way to feel good. And sometimes these things that we reflect on don't feel good. Sometimes you're going through a rebirth process. It just doesn't feel good. It feels emotionally difficult sometimes, right? And so you could be trying to sort of escape those feelings, maybe shortcuts, you know what I mean? It's interesting. It's really interesting because it seems in the recent past you had to make a decision about something, but it was like two opposing forces in your mind. It was almost like, to be or not to be. Should I do it or not do it? But something big, like a big decision that was really difficult for you mentally to even wrap your brain around it. So you sort of just avoided it, right? But I see that in the upcoming energy, you're really going to feel like you want to have this creative, sustained expression of your vision. Okay, you really want to be like this inspired generator of sorts that's running on imagination, creativity, passion, and it's very loyal and consistent and constant and yet versatile at the same time. But it's going to be a challenge for you because it almost seems like you're not sure who to trust around you. To make this happen, you're sort of like, I don't know, I have to rethink this whole team. You know what I mean? It's almost like you're thinking, I don't know who I'm in bed with anymore. I don't know who to trust. I'm not sure if I can accept this offer, but I sure want to. It sure looks good. It sure looks like it's going to help me, but you're not sure. And I think what you're going to realize here, Virgo, is that that at the end of the day, it's you. It's just you. You are the one who's going to make it happen, okay? And it's like you're coming to terms with that. I think this last chapter that you just ended, Virgo, taught you that, wow, look at that, 2 4s back to back on the bottom of the deck. I really think this experience taught you that you really just need to have time time to look at things in a different light, time to look at things in a different way. Are you really being authentic, or are you just battling the lion with your might? You know what I mean? Like, you could be battling the lion with your confidence and your might and your ability to be impulsive, but is it you anymore? Like, I almost feel like you're changing here, Virgo. You're turning things upside down, and as you seek truth, you're starting to realize you're leveling up. But at the same time, it's almost like you just don't have the patience to understand that you need to look at yourself, you know? It's you and you. It's you and you. You need to look at yourself eye to eye and really look at things. And I think that's where this Hermit card is coming in, which is also you. Again, I'll say it again. The Hermit is Virgo. And you know, things that have to be sacrificed, they aren't part of the future picture. Try and remember that. But I feel like that's part of the journey here for you, is that you're concerned about how it's going to feel to have a different definition for emotionally content. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like this overwhelming presence that you don't want things to feel like, well, I don't want to not have enough. Like, at the end of the day, I don't want to not have enough. I have to make sure I'm covered. And so that seems to me like you're not resisting the transition, but sort of missing some of the points. This needs more review, Virgo. You got to go back and look at this last chapter. If this is resonating for you, and you have a placement in Virgo, there may be an experience that you have not fully explored in terms of what it meant, in terms of what was it designed to teach you about yourself. You may not have gone deep enough in that exploration. You know what I mean? It certainly seems like more study is required on that topic, because there may be some things that you need to see through. There may be some illusions, right? You might not know the whole story. There might be something hidden from you, or you could be operating in sort of like a path to satisfy just the ego. And that's never going to leave you feeling full or satisfied, because this ego just craves and is never satisfied. Just endless craving, okay? And it's almost like if you can break free from some of that, that would serve you. But that's going to involve facing things head on without trying to sort of take a shortcut or escape them. But I think you're going to pull through here, Virgo, because seeing the Magician at the end really says that you're going to step up to the truth about who you are and realize that some of this stuff around you here is not as it seems. You know what I mean? And I think you're going to uncover that, but it might just be a journey to get there, because there may be some shortcuts that you're, tempted to take. But sometimes we got to step through that curtain fearless without sort of exploring that shortcut. Okay, let's get an angel card here for you to close your reading for Virgo. Thank you. Interesting. Expect miracles. I love that. Expect miracles. I really feel this reading is designed to tell you to go back to the lab and do some more research. More thought and exploration is required. And I think whatever outcome it is, that is the ultimate emotionally outcome, like wish received, you can make it happen. Expect miracles. You can make this happen, Virgo. Absolutely you can. And it's really about looking at your core beliefs. What are your core beliefs about this? Do you believe that you're worthy of this? Do you believe that it's possible? Are you expecting miracles, or are you saying it's not possible? Because that's really important. It's really important what you believe down to the core, because if what you say and what you believe are in opposition of one another, you're not going to make anything happen here as the Magician, right? So by expecting miracles, it's almost like you have to believe in miracles too. You have to believe that whatever outcome feels like the one that you just, are feeling really inspired through this Queen of Wands here to do, it's possible, but you have to believe it's possible first. And I love that you got to expect miracles, because I feel like right now you're looking for shortcuts, and you're looking for a way to get to this outcome and take some shortcuts so that there's no chance that you're going to have to face something. I feel Virgos are in denial of something that it's either hidden from you or you're not facing it. And I think that the reason is because you're afraid that it's not possible, or you're afraid that you're not worthy. And I love this message for you to expect miracles, because what a beautiful final message for you to close this reading. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. If this has resonated for you and you would like a personal reading, my email is in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and watching. And we will see you again very soon for another reading. Sending you lots of love and light, my friends.